So, just wrapped up the first half of season 2 of Haikyuu. This is my favorite season, and the first half of it really sets the tone as for why. We got a bunch of new characters, we got a bunch of new teams, we got so much going on. But we'll start off with the most important thing at the beginning, which is we found out who's really stupid when it comes to academics. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, although it's no surprise that it's those four. The two guys who've, like, since birth were all, I need volleyball in my life. And then the two guys who are just clearly idiots.
Yeah.
Ugh. So it was no surprise, but man, it was funny to see their faces.
I loved Hinata asking Coach Ukai how to study it. He's like, Hinata, I really didn't want to bring this up, but do I really look like the kind of guy that studied?
Had good grades? Yeah. Really look like the kind of guy who had good grades.
Episode 3 is really one of those standouts, but I think we get introduced to Yachi in episode 2. So our first new character. But episode 3 is very much her episode. Murabito B, or Town Person B. Now, if you watch the Goblin Slayer one shot, it makes a lot more sense now. Where like, it's like, I used to. How did you know that was a skeleton with a wig? I used to be in theater. Really? What role did you play? Town Person.
Town Person B.
And then we cut to a shot of Yachi. That's good stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, this was really her episode where a lot of her stuff and gets fleshed out. You learn a lot more about her and like her home life and why she seems to be so anxiety ridden a lot of the time. To be fair, though, it is kind of fresh considering we're around all these very strong-willed individuals to have somebody as skittish as her around.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, you will have characters. In season 1, it was the inexperienced coach Takeda, but he knows a lot more about volleyball now. So, as a refresher for people to just kind of get used to new things and new terms and things in volleyball, they bring in Yachi, who is learning from the ground up. So we get to learn even more things and new terminology and stuff like that. So I think this was a really good character to bring in. But how do you feel about Hitoka or Yachi overall?
I think she's really cute, a nice addition to the crew. She had some really funny episodes with her introduction, so it was really fun getting to see her and meet her and everything. Um, and I kind of like the dynamic she has with her mom a bit, and how that whole thing kind of went with her with Hinata's backup running out to her and just literally yelling at her. Hey, I'm gonna do this.
Hinata is the MVP in this situation. He's just so freaking wholesome. Also, I love how quickly he picks up communication with other people. Like, he's instantly made a bond with Hitoka. Like, just they are buds, you know? That's so cool. And then, of course, we get to the next episode and we meet the best character in Haikyuu, Tanaka's older sister.
Yeah. The moment I saw her, I knew I was going to look her up on Google later.
The Fast and the Furious is what this episode should be titled. However, a warning, your safety on this ride may not be guaranteed.
Yeah, that was a hilarious warning too.
She's not the greatest driver by any means, but she'll get you where you need to go, hopefully on time, or maybe even early.
That just reminds me of a bit from Azumanga Daioh too, where it's like, let's just say me and Chiyo aren't gonna be afraid of roller coasters anytime soon.
Good old Chiyo-chan. All right.
Yeah.
So they start the Tokyo away games. That's what starts in these two, in this episode and the next episode. And Hinata decides to start using their quick with his eyes open. He's going to use his eyes open from now on, and it causes a bit of static within the team.
Mm-hmm.
So let's chat about that. This is also the episode where the fight happens, so we'll dive into that. What were your thoughts on this episode, episode 5?
Um, hold on, let me look at the freaking.
Episode 5 is titled Greed.
Right, that was the one where they wrapped up the first set of stuff. Right.
And Hinata was like,
Yeah,
I
they had
want
the
to
fight.
do the
Yeah.
quick. I want to do the quick with my eyes open. And then towards the end, they were trying to continue doing that, and then they got in a fight, and then we
Yep.
got the aftermath of that fight.
It was something that was kind of coming. Like I kind of knew it was coming a bit because like, what's his face, Kageyama is still trying to control just everything in a sense, especially with that because he's sitting there being all like, I'm the
Well,
one who's doing this. I'm the reason you're able to hit it and everything.
you
Even though
couldn't.
it's like, no, because literally Hinata's the one who's having to hit the ball, get it across the net, and has
Yes.
to aim.
However,
even.
however, the thing is, you couldn't hear the conversation we were having, but Rick and I were in a call together with Lady. We were all watching you, and
Oh,
we
but
were
you
having
were
a
the only
conversation.
one in the freaking.
But I had a conversation with them. No, this was around the time that Rick was typing in the chat too. But anyway,
Rick was typing in the chat. I didn't.
yeah, Salty Rick.
Oh shit! Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot. He did say something. He said one thing at least.
He said like one or two things. Anyway,
Yeah.
he dropped comments in there to let you know that he was there and he was watching. And anyway, we were talking, and we said during during the argument right before the fight.
Yeah.
During the argument right before the fight, what happened was we were talking about how they both had valid points. Like Kageyama's whole thing was, if we do this, your selfishness is going to break the balance of the team as it is right now. And they're like, we have a good thing going right here, and you're going to disrupt the balance of the team to satisfy your own desires. And so at that point, Kageyama wasn't actually trying to be an oppressive dictator or anything. Like, he was actually talking it out with him, but Hinata, wasn't listening. And he was true. It was true that Hinata's like, hey, if I do it this way, I'm never going to grow. I'm never going to improve. And so the problem is stagnation. And that was a big part, I think, of this first set of episodes. But let's continue on, get your opinions on this. The aftermath with them and the band-aids.
Oh yeah. After the fight got broken up, yeah, that was pretty funny, especially because like you didn't see what happened, but you're like, oh man, did they actually start having it out once what's his face jumped in?
No, Tanaka came in there.
He just came in and punched them both.
I love that Yachi was the one that was going up and grabbing him, and she's just like is in full blown cry panic. I don't want him to die. But yeah, we kind of we slowly patched that up, and then we move on to the next episode, Tempo. Now we get into some of the real meat behind some of the the more technical aspects of volleyball. We start talking about different tempos: first tempo, second tempo, third tempo. And again, I highly encourage you, after watching some of this, to go back and rewatch these episodes with the Olympic volleyball player reacting to it and talking about it, or the coach reacting to it and talking about it. Just go on YouTube when you have time and look up Haikyuu reactions. You'll find them. And there's some really good stuff that they talk about, like how this show gets a lot of important points done, and they do it really well. So it's really nice to see from a technical standpoint how the people involved with the sport work. And again, I appreciate the coaches because he will comment on not just the technical aspects of the sport, but he'll also comment on the technical aspects of the animation, and he'll praise the animation. So But episode 6, we get the tempos. We have Kageyama meeting up with Oikawa, and then we have Hinata meeting up with old Coach Ukai.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was this episode. So go for it.
I was literally sitting there. It's like, Ukai, I thought he was dead. I didn't know he was
No,
still
he was
kicking.
in the hospital. He was just in the hospital to rest and recover after his back gave out. That's what they talked to. He didn't die. He just retired.
I mean, we just never saw him around, so I'm sitting here like, they keep talking about him. He must be fucking dead. I can't. Look, it was like maybe 2 or 3 lines that was said in maybe 2 or 3 different episodes. My memory does not work like that.
Your memory doesn't work at all.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, this was it was very interesting getting to hear about the tempos, and I think that's really cool. And it did take me a second, but even before they explained it, I noticed what was happening when they had the side by side view of it all. It was like when they start running up.
Timing is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, and that talk between Oikawa and Kageyama. Boy, that was some words Kageyama needed to fucking hear.
Yeah.
Because, like,
get a little slice
of
humble pie.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's not him making the shot. He's lining it up for sure, but the shot's being made by someone else.
Alrighty. And then we move on to the next episodes, which is the return to the training camp, the week-long training camp. And from episode 7 all the way through episode 11, we are at the training camp. And this is one of my favorite little arcs right here, is the training camp arc, because you've got so many different things with so many different people that are like improving their individual stuff. We've got Noya trying to learn to set as a libero, and then we've got Asahi learning to do jump serves, and then we have a bunch of the rest of them learning to do the like synchro attack. Yeah, because they saw the other teams doing those, and they get into that, and of course, you know, everybody's got their own individual stuff. Like Kageyama is still trying to perfect his new quick set, and he's working with Hinata on that. That's more or less an overall gist of some of the stuff in episode 7, and then of course episode 8 is Suki's backstory.
Right.
Yeah. So let's cover a bunch of this. Let's just go through 7 through 11, because it's all kind of one big thing that kind of happens.
Fair enough. Well, I guess let's just start with Suki's backstory, because it's finally nice to see why he's not, you know, trying as hard, why he's, you know, just being a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And it's understandable, especially because, like, his brother fucking lied to him.
Also true, yeah.
Like, I don't know what his brother was thinking at that time, because what good is it gonna do to lie to him like that? Like, you could just be real about it, and, you know, like. But when it comes to him finally getting to a point where he has something he wants to learn, something he wants to strive for, that was nice to see. Especially because it was brought up from more or less from other people from other teams. Which is like a really good show of like sportsmanship, which is kind of all around for one, because it's like, you know, you're not just out there to win all the damn time. Yeah, you want to win, but that's not the whole point of it. You're there to play a game. You're there to have fun. And in this case, you're there for just training. You're there to get better. And what's the point of like training against other people if you don't learn with and from them? And I did find it funny when later he was able to achieve, it was either like a specific block or spike, I can't remember. And the owl guy is like, "What? I can't believe he did that." And then one of the other guys on his team is like, "You taught him how to do that. Shut up!"
Oh no, that wasn't. That was Hinata using the. That was Hinata using the feint for the first time, because Bokuto taught him the
Right.
feint. That was his secret.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
was
that was
really
his
funny.
secret ability. Mm.
But with Suki, at least it looks like he's getting better in terms of like how much practice and time he's putting into everything.
Yep.
But
And then
yeah.
we get episode 9, which is versus Umbrella, and then the Cogs. That's when everything really starts coming together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Seeing the cogs was nice and was a very simple but good metaphor about, everyone's got their things, everyone has the stuff they're learning, they're trying to do,
Also,
and it's all just coming together and meshing.
it had the greatest meme that has ever come out of Haikyuu, which is the little meat dance.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Niku kami-sama! Oh, Niku kami-sama! Hallelujah! Oi, oi!
And I love how Kageyama was like both a part of it but not a part of it.
Yeah,
Because, like,
exactly. he's like
uh,
I felt like this is my like perspective or perception of it, is that he's just kind of too stunned and he's still like kind of processing it, but he's on autopilot going along with the rest of the idiot crew.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny though.
And then of course
Boy,
episode 11
that
is the
barbecue was
end
so
of
good.
it, where we find out, oh sorry.
I was just saying the barbecue looked so good.
Oh yeah. Episode 11 is the end of the match, where we find out that Bokuto has an emo mode, and it's not Bokuto that pulls his team, it's his team that pulls Bokuto. And I thought that was really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that leads into the barbecue. And there was a lot of silliness during that barbecue, such as Hitoka being surrounded by really tall volleyball players and being frightened of like being in a land of giants.
Mm-hmm. Poor
Um,
thing. And then she ends up getting surrounded by them. They're all being very kind. It's like, are you okay? We could help you set up a plate. She's just like,
freaking out. She's freaking out amongst the gentle giants, is what's actually happening.
and then the other guys are like, if this were in the city, the police would get called.
Yeah, and then one of them sees all the other manager girls, and is suddenly like, oh, our managers were already top tier, but now with you, if you add Karasuno's managers, it's just above. And he's like, I agree. Also, yeah, the little protection thing, the little protection triangle, that the JoJo meme that they used
God,
to
that
protect
was so good.
Kyoko was so funny. There were several
As
like
soon as it
JoJo-esque
showed them
poses.
too,
Yeah.
like just JoJo-esque drawing, the
Mm-hmm.
hard lines, the like severely angled faces where like they put so much detail into every little fucking line. I was sitting there, it's like, oh god, this is a
Yeah,
JoJo's reference.
JoJo is just kind of a meme in the anime community, so you don't be surprised if you see it. Yeah.
I'm not. I just love
right.
it. It's hilarious.
So we wrap things up and head back, and that is when the prelims start. And for the next 2 episodes, we're in the prelims. So episode 12, we meet the punk squad, as it were, and let's talk a little bit about that one.
That was an interesting episode. It was a really quick match, which I was like, wow, okay.
Well, considering all the people they were playing matches against for like
Yeah.
the last
They
week
literally
or so,
went up against
and
a lot of top tier teams, and now they're
Yeah,
going up
they
back
went-
up against
they went up
not
against
that.
yeah they went up against some of the top teams in the nation, right? And those are their training partners now, like some of the top team in the nation. So literally coming back and playing against normies, you see kind of how it works now. It was like, oh yeah, oh, and by the way, towards the end, like they were still losing, but they were losing by like 1 or 2 points. It was getting like, you could see over time how they were progressing, because the gap between the scores just kept getting narrower.
Yeah,
and
yeah, with the
narrower.
training stuff. Yeah, definitely.
So when you get back and they have to play against non-elites,
And they're
everything's
just wiping
just
the
so
floor
much.
with them.
Well, it's another thing. It's like when the guy went to do a feint, Daiki just immediately recognized, or Daichi immediately recognized what was going
And he
on.
was ready
Yeah.
to catch it.
So they have just subconsciously gotten used to playing against high caliber teams. So now, stuff that might have been difficult before, simple at this point because they've just been conditioned differently. They're built different now. And it was nice to get a little bit of the backstory of that of the other guy on the Yankee team. I love their captain or their former captain. He was. I love how he's like on the second floor. He's like, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm on the second floor. You can't do anything to me."
Yeah, what was up with his hair too?
I don't know. Dude, we're gonna have a pineapple head coming up soon. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Yeah, there's just hairstyles are gonna be weird, and then we get to episode 13, the Fuji Kujira episode. So, I love how much the Fuji Kujira came up in there, and I also love that they had to say the names kind of differently for copyright, but it's Hello Kitty and it's Pikachu.
Yep.
But they went up against the guy that's like 6'5". Actually, he's 2 centimeters taller, so he's above 6'5". He's probably approaching 6'6". That's the guy. That's how tall 2 meters is. So in reference, Suki, who's at like 190 or so, that's like 6'2", 6'3". Yeah.
Right.
So it's not nothing,
Definitely
and in Japan where the average height is like 5'7", 5'8", that's a difference. That's definitely a difference. Yeah. So moving on to this episode and away from me just talking about height, how did you feel about this episode with the giant and the Fuji Kujira and how all that was handled? Yeah.
I thought it was like they kept it really thrilling. Even though like I'm sitting here and I'm remembering the last time I had this thought, but I'm like, nah, surely not. They're our boys are gonna win. It's just how are they gonna win? Because this was a new obstacle for them. Someone who was so freakishly tall, they thought they didn't need skill. And then it turns out, no, skill makes a pretty big fucking difference.
I also really like. We will see that character again later. The giant guy. We will see him again. I won't say in what situation or how because it's better if like when it happens you're not expecting it. But like the good news is we'll see them again and they are a bit more humble than the. So that was the coolest part. Just the tallest guy getting humbled by the smallest guy was just beautiful.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely.
I also love that Coach Ukai was there for all of it and got to talk a little bit about it. And that's how we ended up getting our explanation that what Hinata and Kageyama are doing is not, in fact, first tempo. It is minus tempo. Yeah, so it's not.
Which makes
I love that
sense
they
because
zero,
even from the beginning,
but
even
they were like,
even
no,
from the
it's
beginning,
actually minus tempo, so it's even below 0.
which makes sense because even from the beginning, what it's always been is just Kageyama tossing to what's his name while he was already in the air or
Hinata?
going up in the air. Yeah, Hinata.
Good old what's his name? Hardly knew you.
Fuck you. Names are hard.
Hinata's not a hard name.
Fuck you. Names are hard. Just in general.
I tell you what. You start looking make a folder for images for Haikyuu, like wallpapers and stuff like that. Just look around. You'll learn the characters pretty quickly. It helps. It does help.
No. Not with my names issue. No.
I have a name.
It doesn't matter if I've met someone like several times, like 9 times out of 10. Unless I use your name very commonly.
What's my name?
It's not. Do what?
What's my name?
Your name is literally right in front of me. That doesn't count.
So, you didn't say it. You must have forgot.
Yeah, I definitely forgot your name. It was like Roby Richards? Is that what it was?
No, my name's Mark Rober.
Grover. Oh, okay. Where's your piano cue? Do, 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 do.
Sadly, it got stolen off my porch.
Ah, darn.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well.
But yeah, we
Hopefully those
wrap
thieves will
things
learn
up.
to regret that.
We wrap things up, and this is exactly where I was hoping that it would end at. Is we finish the prelims, and then we move on with the second half, and we do get the new opening, and that's the opening that everybody kind of sings all the time. But yeah,
Mm.
this next opening. I have a feeling you're gonna like. It is a little bit of an earworm, uh, but whew, pardon me. But yeah, we got the second half to go through, and the funny thing is, the next episode is literally the in between the prelims and the tournament episode, and then episode 15, it's just all tournament for the rest of the run.
Mm,
That's
gotcha.
where we're at. Yeah, it's all tournament after that, buddy. So, I mean, the funny thing is, you probably could have done the next episode, not been bothered, and there's just had like 10 to go next week. But
Yeah, but that's not how I do things.
things are going to be different next week. You will be doing significantly more of the talking if things go as planned, because next Wednesday, I'm hoping to get my wisdom tooth pulled. It has been
Mm.
bothering me all freaking day for 2 days. Like, I
So,
still have pain after taking a couple pain pills. So,
mm.
yeah, it's a thing. So, yeah, I may have my wisdom tooth removed
We'll just set you up with
that
a
afternoon.
what is it? MS Talk.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Overall, though, what are your thoughts on the first half of season 1 of Haikyuu? Or season 2 of Haikyuu? The first half of
Six
season
and
2.
say season 1 was a while ago.
Yeah,
But
well,
season 2 of
whatever.
Haikyuu. This first half was great. It was really awesome to watch them grow, and I can't wait to see them progress further, to see how the rest of this goes. I can't imagine they're going to lose now, but knowing that they can lose
You
makes it
also
scary.
you also have not seen all the other teams they're going to have to face against,
Oh yeah,
or
we're gonna
or
see all
or
new
if they're
challenges.
facing against teams that they faced before, how much those teams have changed and grown. It's not just
True.
Karasuno that has been improving this whole time. So
Of course,
yeah,
there's been time, so Date Tech's probably
mm-hmm.
improved.
Alba Josai.
Yep,
We got
Abajosai.
slowly introduced to a couple of new teams
Mm-hmm.
before the prelims started, and a new team at the end of the prelims that
Mm-hmm.
were hitting on Kyoko, their manager. So
Yep.
also, I love some of the other things that need to be like mentioned off the bat. Number one, the whole Hinata staring down Ushiwaka and saying, "I'm Hinata from the concrete,"
Mm-hmm.
and just like, "I'm gonna go to nationals
That
and
was
I'm
an
taking you down."
absolutely
Oh
amazing
yeah,
moment.
oh yeah, especially with the imagery of the crows going after the eagle,
Mm-hmm.
flying in the air. That was so good.
Yeah, I love all the
Also,
crow imagery,
I love
especially
the
when it
part when
came
they're
to
running around the school because it's so big, and they're like, "Oh, we got lost," and they're just bouncing in the
Yep.
background around. It's so fun.
Yep. But I
Kageyama,
also
they have
love
horses.
the.
Horses.
Oh, I forgot about the horses.
Uma, Uma.
But I
Right.
also love the imagery of
Mm-hmm.
when what's his name's learning, when Hinata's learning,
Mm-hmm.
of him being at the top of the tree, but Kageyama being right next to him, because obviously he wouldn't be able to do the shit he does without
Right.
Kageyama sending him the ball.
Oh
And it's like,
yeah.
oh, it's so good.
My
It's
my
so good.
favorite imagery is actually from I think it's the Cogs episode where Yachi says that they call Kageyama the king, but right now it looks like Hinata's wearing the crown, and he's just standing there with
Yeah,
the
and
crown, hands
on
on his
top of the
hips. I
throne
demand,
in the
I
dump,
demand the
just
ultimate toss.
yep. Oh, it was
Oh
so good.
man, it was so good, man. This was such
Hmm.
a really good. This season is like one of my favorite. Anytime that I get like some good growth happening, like it's the first half of this season that has some really good growth, not just in their ability in the sport, but there was also there was some character growth happening here too, like general overall character growth. Even Suki got some character growth, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but between this and the first half of season 4, there's some good growth stuff going on in the first half of season 4 that I think you'll like. So, just improvements all around. And now the next half is the payoff of all of this. So we've been watching them grow and get stronger and everything. And we got a little taste of that with episodes 12 and 13, but the whole rest of the season with the tournament stuff, that is 100% going to be comparing Karasuno, the new and improved Karasuno, to all these other teams that are in the tournament and who they're going to be facing up against and stuff like that. Do you have any predictions for the tournament, or do you want to just be like, nah, I'd rather be surprised?
Yeah, I try not to do predictions on too much. I keep it light, like, oh, they're gonna have to face other challenges and stuff like that. I might guess at certain challenges, but
Mhm.
other than that, I like to just kind of go with the flow.
Gotcha.
Just watch it, just have fun with it.
Gotcha. All right. Last but not least. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Last but not least, let's go ahead and get your rating for this out of 5 stars, because that's how it's done here on Crunchyroll, and that's what we're sticking with. So, on a rating of 1 to 5 stars, what would you give this?
Um, hmm.
First half of season 2. What are you going with? What are you feeling?
Hmm.
What is your overall vibe after watching this?
So I'm somewhere between a 4.5 and a 5 because like I don't want to keep giving it like
4.75?
super high mark. Sure, 4.75,
Yeah.
but I don't want to keep giving it like super extremely high marks and everything because like no anime is fucking perfect. But
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the
this
other thing. Once we go through the second season and we get to next week, I'm gonna I will ask you what your rating is out of these just for the second half, and then overall as season 2, what you were your ratings, because your rating for the first half of season 2 and your rating for the second half of season 2 could be different from one another, and then when
hmm,
you're just looking back at the whole season as one thing, your rating can change from there too. So there we go.
yeah.
So
Um,
that's fine. It's fine to
but
say you're at like 4.75 or what have you.
anyway.
You want to use the decimals? Go for it.
Well, for me, my thing is like I'm just enjoying this so much. Like I'm not finding any issues with this. If anything,
Oh
I would
yeah,
say it just hasn't had enough hype moments yet. And that's just because it was all, training and build up. This has
exactly. We're
all been
building to the
extreme
hype.
build up
We're
to
building to the
exactly. So like I know the hype is coming and that's just what I'm looking forward to.
All right. I look forward to it too. And we will all be gathered here next week. Remember, guys, over on our Twitch channel, link in the description. Moon will be reacting on Wednesdays at what time Eastern?
6 p.m. Eastern time, unless I end up being a little bit late for food shenanigans.
which which is a possibility. It is a possibility.
Yeah,
Uh,
today, like, I started at 6, but I had to take like an extra 15 minutes so I could actually make me something to eat at the start.
All right. That being said, guys, that is it for our review. Let us know what your thoughts were when you were watching these episodes, and what were some of the standout moments for you, and what's the rating you would give it. Let us know in the comments, and of course, lastly, please, guys, come on by. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do this on my channel or if I'm gonna do this on Fat Dog's channel, but Saturday
Mm.
Saturday I'm gonna do something. Oh, you're gonna be mad that you're gonna miss this
Hmm.
because you're working on Saturday, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. On Saturday, I will be sitting down and streaming as I watch and react to Warhammer 40k lore. I know absolutely nothing about the Warhammer universe. So,
See, now I have to wonder where and who you're starting with.
um, hey man, I've been sent multiple videos by multiple people. I got I got something sent to me by I got a bunch of stuff sent by Revan, some stuff sent by Wraith. If you got
Mhm.
stuff you want to throw out there, you're welcome to. I may just put it. I may just put a bunch of the videos that have been offered to me in like a specific channel on my servers, so everybody can see. That way, they don't double up on some videos. But I've already stated no 10-hour or higher or longer videos. I don't need that. But anything that is newbie friendly for Warhammer stuff, yeah, I'm here for it. Um,
So I've got something that's mildly newbie friendly, but also
okay.
mildly not. But it's going to be hilarious if you watch it.
Oh, okie dokie. Well, that being said, guys, thank you so much. We will see you next week for more Haikyuu shenanigans as we continue on. Remember, after Haikyuu, we have. Well, it's going to be a while before we get done with Haikyuu. Because after. I think after season 3, which is only 10 episodes, there are 2 OVAs after season 3 that take place in between season 3 and season 4, or somewhere around that, and they are kind of important to season 4. Otherwise, you get introduced to characters, you're like, who the f is this? And it's like, well, if you watch the OVA, you'd know. And the OVAs, it's so funny. They say original version animation. That's
Mm.
no, the stuff that they're talking about was also in the manga. They just released it separate from from the series for some reason. Uh, but yeah, so you got all that, and then there's season 4, which is another 24-25 episoder, and then finally we get the newest thing that came out, the movie. Now we've talked about this on Anime Church, but I'm pretty sure you don't remember the title of the movie.
The garbage
Battle
or the
of the
dump.
Garbage Dump. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you have context for what that means.
We got that context in like the first one, so that
Mm.
at least means they're going to be facing off against Nekoman in official
Mm-hmm.
capacity.
Oh yeah. So that's gonna be fun. That being said though, guys, yeah, we'll see you next time. Take care and bye bye for now.